Hello, Mark.
Hi.
First of all, thank you very much for coming to us. And I know we've got amazing news from you. And first of all, I know that you've recently circulated survey and we've helped. And I know that NRPSI has also circulated to a wider audience of interpreters and translators for survey. And today, I believe you wanted to share with us some provisional analytics on the survey and to let us know whether this survey is going to go till 4th of December. I know that perhaps it is possible that you might stop that sooner. It's important that interpreters take part, and that's why you've come to share with us the analytics and tell us whether you should continue with survey or whether you've got enough information now and you will stop it within days. So over to you,
Thanks.
Mark. Please let us know how the survey goes. The question about remuneration is incredibly important.
Of course it is.
All of us. We're all watching intensely what's happening, and everybody would be absolutely delighted to hear from you if you can share some provisional results. What can we expect in the future? Because this is our future we're talking about. So yes, can you please let us know what the results so far indicate with regards to police payment for interpreting assignments?
Well, that sounded like a great introduction, but unfortunately, I haven't got any analytics other than I was told that over 1,100 interpreters have taken that survey. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak via your association. Look, if you are a spoken interpreter who does police work, please take the survey. You can find the link on my LinkedIn, you can find it on the AIT LinkedIn, you can find it on NRPSI website. And if you do register with an agency, they have circulated it now. All the agencies that do police work have circulated it to all their interpreters. If you are a BSL interpreter, please do not complete that survey. We've had other discussions with BSL organisations, so it will skew the figures because you get a higher hourly rate. As soon as the figures tell me that people have stopped submitting to that survey, I'm going to stop it. So please submit your survey results as soon as possible. I don't want to wait till the 4th of December if I don't have to. So if we get to the 30th of November and there's no one else posting, then I will stop it. I'll let you all know we're stopping it. And as long as I've got thousands of results, then I'll be able to get a good idea of what you believe you should be paid for an hourly rate in each region and in each force. Now, let me explain. This does not mean that if the hourly rate comes out at £29 an hour, that we are going to immediately go with £29 an hour. But it does give us a good idea of what your views are. Now, there will be some of you who believe that you're worth £60 an hour, and I accept that. You may be getting that in other walks of life. This is the public purse, and the police are going to have to model what the extra amount per month is going to look like for them and decide what they can afford to pay. But I want to take your views into account as long as they are realistic views. So please get that survey filled in. I promised Irina that I will share those results just as soon as I have them. But there will be a caveat to that. If it comes out that you believe you should be paid £29 an hour per hour in hours and £31 an hour out of hours, that doesn't mean the police will be definitely going for that, but it will give you an idea of what you've all said. So get your results to us, fill the survey in as soon as possible so that I can get some figures back out to you. So thanks for that. And Irina, if you don't mind, I've got some other updates for you, and that's what's happening now, but there's some other things happening next week if you're interested.
Mark, just before we get into some other breaking news, with regards to remuneration, so far we've also had some comments that I wanted to share with you. In the survey, you specifically asked for hourly rate, but there is no mentioning of minimum rate. There's no mentioning of travel time, travel expenses. Is there any chance you could perhaps explain why those important items did not make into the survey?
Well, they are in there. So what do you mean by minimum rates? It
Minimum
says,
rate,
what is the minimum rate that you want paid by the agency to you? So that's what that asks. And then it specifically says, this has got nothing to do with expenses and travel. Assume that you're being paid that, because we are working on getting you a travel supplement and mileage at 45p a mile. That's what we're working on. So
okay.
it's all specifically in there. I really need interpreters to read what we're asking them to do and then do it for us so that we get the right data. The instructions around, or the information rather, around, are you going to get paid expenses and mileage, etc. You're all self-employed. You're self-employed. Therefore, 45p a mile is what you are entitled to claim off HMRC. I am in talks with police services saying that we should be paying you that. Self-employed people don't usually get that. Self-employed people, when the plumber comes to my house, he takes into account those extra amounts, and that's what he will put into his hourly rate, which is why we are increasing the hourly rate. But I am hoping that we'll be able to get you a travel supplement, maybe an hour, half an hour each way, etc. And we're looking at 45p a mile if it's all possible. This questionnaire is specifically for spoken interpreters about what do you think you should get an hour, in hours between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. and out of hours between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m., bank holidays, etc. So just answer that question, and then we'll look to see if there's any other survey that we might need to do to inform any other information. But answer this question. Are CCS asking you to do surveys? Are ESPO asking you to do surveys and taking into account your particular needs? I think you find it's only the police that are doing it. So try and be kind and just
No,
answer the question so that we can move on to the next survey if we need to have another one.
no, I think what you're
I
doing
didn't mean you, Irina. I don't mean you being kind. You're always kind.
thank you. No, what I was trying to say that what we're seeing is quite remarkable, and I have to say I certainly haven't seen this level of engagement with regards to a very important contract, a very important system, the DPS. You know, you launching something very new, and this level of engagement that you have with interpreters is absolutely remarkable, and I've certainly never experienced that before. So absolutely what you're doing is something we have not seen before. But still the questions remain. You said that the mileage will be paid at 45, or at least you're trying to get that. Then you also mentioned that the travel cost, meaning that if you got on the bus, or if you used tube, you know, you've got ticket, trains, that would be also reimbursed. But you also mentioned the travel time will be paid at half of the hourly rate. Is that what you said? That's what
I didn't say that today, but we've discussed it in the past. But there may well be a travel supplement to encourage interpreters to take the bookings. Now, that's only for standard travel. If I send or ask for an interpreter to go from Birmingham to Cambridge, which I have done, then what we'll do is we'll put in the contract exceptional circumstances whereby the interpreter can claim an extra amount from the police for that extra travel. It's only right that you get extra payments if you're doing something outside of the ordinary contract. I can remember sending an interpreter from Birmingham to Middlesbrough for 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and that dear man travelled from maybe 4 o'clock in the morning to get there. So I made sure that he was getting mileage and extra hourly rates for travelling there, because he's doing something absolutely exceptional, and that should be rewarded. And we'll make sure that goes into the contracts so that the agencies are able to claim that back from the police and ensure that you get the interpreters get that money.
And the minimum, you're looking at 3 hours minimum or 2 hours minimum?
Minimum of 2 hours for spoken interpreters. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. I hope that perhaps clarifies some questions that so far we have received from our members and actually from interpreters on various social media that have been put to us. So thank you very much again for clarifying.
You're welcome.
But I would very much like to hear the breaking news. You've got some news for us, so please do share.
Oh, it sounded so exciting, didn't it? And I'm sure it's not going to be, but I'll go through it. So next week, we are today, on Thursday, it's the 19th today. So next Friday, the 27th, the DPS, Dynamic Purchasing System, will be launched officially amongst the police. So we know it went live on the 14th of September, but as of next Friday, I have police regional representatives joining me. It's online now. Unfortunately, we can't do it for real in person, but they'll all be getting proper updates on what's happening. I have a section on engagement where I will be telling them all the work that I've been doing through the AIT and NRPSI to make sure that we take your views into account. And I have a section on the approved interpreters and translators section in the afternoon to try and work out how that should all work. So the language service providers, the agencies are involved in this as well, only those that are on the DPS. Now, I know personally that, Irina, you were involved in the APP, the Authorised Professional Practice, and that's being launched next week as well. Once it's launched, there will be a link to the new documents that tell police how to use interpreters, and I'll make sure that's available to you and your members. It will also go out to all language service providers, the agencies, so that they can pass it out. NERPC will have it as well. This tells the police how to use interpreters, but of course, turn that around. It's important that you, the interpreters, know what the police are being told. So that's being launched next Friday as well from the College of Policing. And then the third thing, I've apologised to you and everyone that listens to these events about the website. Well, yeehaw, the website goes live next Friday.
Yay!
All being well, there are no photos on there, which when you look at this face, that's probably an advantage. There's no photos. I have limited ability to change material on there. It takes weeks to get anything changed. I've run my own websites, but I'm not allowed to with this one. It's on the NPCC website, the National Police Chiefs Council. It's on their framework at the moment. So that will be launched next week. I'll make sure you have a link to it and you'll be able to have a look at the information. The APP, the Authorised Professional Practice, will be on there. There will be a link to the companies that I've audited, the agencies that I've audited. You'll be able to see a list of the subjects that I've audited if they get it updated in time. But they're the three things that I just wanted to mention briefly. I'm sure they're not as exciting as Trump losing the election or anything like that. But they're the three things that I thought it would be good, other than the survey, which is most important and pressing at the moment. So there's the four things that I just wanted to update you on.
Thank you so much. So next Friday is a big day.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah,
all of a sudden everything falls into places.
Yeah, all the hard work that I've been doing for certainly the last 6 months all falls into place and has to be ready in time for the chiefs, all the police chiefs to go online and look at it. It's all got to be correct. So hopefully it will all work. Everything will go well. We're working from home, so hopefully the IT will all work and you won't be downloading lots of videos, so I will be able to actually get some bandwidth on my home computer.
Right. I'm going to switch Wi-Fi next week. Sure.
And we'll update you as soon after that as we can. We'll have another session where I'll be able to tell you what's been happening. The results of the survey is so important. We'll come back to you as soon as we can after that.
Fantastic. We will be waiting in anticipation for all the new updates.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone for your support. You know, I know that on social media there's always people that want more. No matter what we give you, you want more. And it does disappoint me at times, but I constantly get contacted, mainly through LinkedIn, with people saying, thank you for what you do. I tell you what we haven't talked about the language show.
I was gonna come to that.
I knew you'd have it on your list. Very, very briefly, last Friday and Sunday, I presented at the language show. I think there were 800 people at a time on some of these sessions. Really good feedback from people, not only all over the world, but in all kinds of professions of interpreting or linguists. I'll use the L word, linguists. And there were lots of people on there that were saying, do you know what, I never thought about doing police work, but you've inspired me, and I'm really interested in Arena. I know you were so sad that you didn't have a weekend. You were on both of them. I don't know what feedback you got, but thank you for the questions that you asked, the challenging questions that held me to account if I left any detail out. As you saw, there was some interesting stories that I told about how interpreters and translators are doing fantastic work to enable the police to catch criminals. I talked about a suicide intervention that I dealt with that's very emotional for me because we saved someone's life. So I think it went very well, and hopefully there may be an injection of people in police interpreting. We fully accept they've got to be qualified, interpreted to the right standard, etc. But if we can encourage some new people, I was inspired by how many language students got in touch and thanked me. And it's not about me, but the stories I tell are for every police officer that ever works with an interpreter, and for every interpreter that gets out of bed and goes out and stands on a bridge to help a policeman save a life. So I think it was a great event. First one I've done for them, very good feedback. And I don't know if you want to come back with any comments, not about me, but about the event, Irina.
Definitely. I have to say, I was interviewed yesterday. I gave an interview to a really, really lovely group on Facebook. I know you're not on Facebook, but Hiba Bayat has got Linguist Cafe UK, and fantastic atmosphere on the group, very supportive, very friendly. She's recently reached 600 people on the group. These are all people who are either already practicing interpreters or studying to become an interpreter, or very interested in interpreting. So when Hiba asked me what I would have, if I was Irina Norton, that I was in 2002 when I started, being interested in this profession, what I would have liked to hear. And I said straight away, do you know what? Mark Lewis just gave an amazing presentation at Language Show and inspired so many people. You did so well that I actually had a phone call on Sunday from somebody who reached out to me. They didn't know who I was. They just knew that they knew I was an interpreter. So the person reached out to me to find out how she can become police interpreter. So
Fantastic.
it really inspires a lot of people, and they're making inquiries. And I just felt really sad that, I just felt professional associations really need to be out there and do more, because these people, once they hear, they don't know where to go to. They don't know who to ask. So they probably just go through friends of a friend of a friend to get to hear something. So perhaps we need to work harder to make that information available to people who are interested, how to get qualification, who to register, how to get the vetting, what the right steps in order to get into interpreting for police, what's required. So this information should be available for a wider talents of linguists and interpreters, because the lady who contacted me, absolutely amazing. She's a Portuguese talent, I'd call her, because her English is remarkable, and she's only been here for 5 years. She's got no accent. She speaks like fluent Brits, and these are the amazing talents. They need to know who they need to contact and how to get qualification, what the right steps. So well done. You clearly inspired a lot of people. Even I got a call on Sunday, and not because I'm IAT.
Let me come back on that. I have worked with interpreters most of my police life and have some stories. You are the people that inspire. You are the people that should be inspiring. You are the people that are doing this day in, day out. You're taking phone calls to help the 999 system when someone's screaming in the background and you police have no idea where they live or what's happened. You are the people that have the fantastic stories. As long as they're not ongoing investigations, you can put that out there. Why isn't there? We've got weekly meetings that you and I are publishing at the moment. Why aren't we getting weekly publishings of this person, not the name? A person was put into custody and arrested and went to court because of a job that an interpreter was involved in. Go on LinkedIn and look at how many times the National Crime Agency and other forces are now publicising cases that have been successful. Once they're finished, why aren't we doing it? I certainly am, and we might talk another time about Interpreter of the Year and things like that, but certainly for me, associations like yourself should be anonymising the data, but putting those stories out there to encourage these new interpreters and new linguists to come and do police work. It really is the pinnacle of your career until you start getting paid more money in conference interpreting and private work and things like that. You are the people that inspire. I just tell the stories, and I don't have anywhere near as many as all of you. So get together and get those stories out there. As long as you're not giving away any secrets and as long as it's not an ongoing case, publicise it. Let people know what you do. Driving instructors do. You'll hear me saying it all the time. Driving instructors publicise the fact that they've got 10 people through in a week and none of them had any, all passed first time, etc. Get out there and publicise it. Let people know what a great job you're doing. Just don't breach any confidentiality. Thank you for your feedback, Irina. I really appreciate that. You know I love speaking. You know I love telling stories. All are true. And you know that I'm very passionate about ensuring the police get the right interpreters. I've given you all the updates that I have. I will come back and we'll do another breaking news once we've got the results of the surveys. Okay.
We'll look forward to it, Mark, and thank you so much again for your time. I really want to wish you have a lovely day, and I'm just going to quickly get this recorded and uploaded so people can hear your great news. So I will try to release it as soon as I can.
Thank you. I really appreciate your help, Irina. You have a good day when you finish doing all that.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Cheers then. Bye.
Speak again. Bye.